Rather than lads, welcome back to Cossy's Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy, back with the second upload of the day. Antonio Conte, Lautaro Martinez, and Martin Odegaard, all to be discussed in this video. We're gonna try to dive into that. We're gonna try to make sense of Antonio Conte links, try to make sense of Lautaro Martinez links, and also trying to make sense of Martin Odegaard. Deals, reports claiming the deal is actually on the way. The deal is progressing. We could see Martin Odegaard sign for Arsenal in the coming days. What do you think about that? Is he an upgrade? Is he the player you would want to see in the Arsenal sinking ship? My name is Cossy. Like I said, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Do smash a like on the video. That really means a lot if you do that. So help me get better in the algorithm. Make sure you do smash a like on the video and also do subscribe to the channel as well. Let's get the party started. Now, a couple of reports. I'm not really going to speak about where I'm getting the Antonio Conte rumors because it's typically the Sun, and with the Sun, I don't believe them. I've seen so many people react to it, and the side decided to do a reaction about Antonio Conte joining Arsenal, so I decided to talk about it. Now, the reports are Arsenal have started eyeing. There is no official bid, there is no official move, there is no official approach. There is actually nothing official between Arsenal and Antonio Conte. But it is now believed, according to the Sun, despite depending on how on the level of credibility and the credit in the bank they have in your bank in terms of credibility, the Sun are saying Antonio Conte is now lined up to replace Mikel Arteta at Arsenal, and many Arsenal fans are going crazy on Twitter, everywhere. They're actually they're so happy. They're absolutely happy with Antonio Conte and the rumors. But one thing I'm gonna say is Antonio Conte is a top-class manager. He has a philosophy and he has an identity as a manager. You can easily identify a team that is being managed by Antonio Conte. I think when I was on the Chronicles of Aguna yesterday, one of the things I said is if Arsenal do not find an identity on the pitch, it's over. You don't expect results, and that's and they still and they still said it's one reason I want Mikel Arteta out, because he's failed to tell us, to show us what he wants to do. That is my problem with Mikel Arteta. With a manager like with a manager like Antonio Conte, it might be the experience, it might be the pedigree. There's so many things you get by signing in Antonio Conte. Obviously, you will dive into the market and things like that when you have a manager like Antonio Conte, and the Inter Milan saga and things like that will happen, with the Inter Milan. But one thing I'm gonna say is, if you bring in Antonio Conte at the moment, you get a philosophy and you get an identity of football. That is one thing I'm dying for. That is one thing I loved about Unai Emery, as one thing I really appreciated about Arsene Wenger. Despite the fact that we had poor results, we had we had an identity. We had a kind of football we were playing. With Mikel, it's absolutely not visible. 3 good years. He's entering into his 3rd year, and there is nothing. There's absolutely nothing to show. This is what we want to do. This is what we are doing at the moment. This is where we're coming from, and this is where we're going. It's so dark, and nobody's gonna keep up with the darkness, especially me as an Arsenal fan. So with Antonio Conte being linked at the moment, don't get excited, people. Don't panic. Don't get distracted. I think Mikel Arteta is not going to get this, get the sack before 10 games. I think if it's not 10 games inside the season, I don't see Mikel getting sacked. I don't see him leaving the club. So don't get excited. Don't get ahead of yourselves. Look, I believe he's gonna get sacked. I think he will get the sack because they have not backed him. They have actually set him to fail, and he's gonna fail, and they will sack him. So I think don't be excited. It's not going to come next week or 2 weeks from now, but definitely I think Mikel Arteta will get sacked. But the question is, does Conte accept the worst job ever in the world? That's the question. if I am Antonio Conte, do I accept to take over the worst job ever in football in the world? Because look, we might be blaming Mikel, and I do blame him, a lot. If you watch my podcast on a couple of times, you know how much I blame Mikel. But honestly, let's speak about it. Mikel Arteta is not the only element to blame in our shambles, not the only element to blame in our mess. That is true. If you brought in Antonio Conte, do you give him the players he wants? Do you actually back him? Do you give him the support he needs? Because managers work with support. Managers work with what are you, at the end of the day, what are you providing? Are you backing me in the transfer window? Let me tell you this this story. Conte was manager with Inter Milan last season. They are still champions. They are defending champions of the Italian Serie A, and Gaffer left. And the reason as to why he left Inter Milan, easy. They told him, you know what? Yeah, you've had a very good squad. You've had a very, very good squad. You've won the league with with the lads. But we're gonna sell Lukaku. We could sell Nico Barella. We could sell Hakimi, and we could sell Lautaro Martinez. We need to deal with the financial mess we're in. And he told them, you know what? If you want to deal with that, fuck off. I'm leaving this football club. Fuck off. So we are talking about a manager who's won 9 consecutive league trophies with Juve. We are talking about a manager who actually, I'm not so sure if you want all the 9 consecutive trophies, together. Probably there was an Allegri hand. I'm not so sure about that. Don't want to say wrong facts. But one thing I know is that those 9 years, that decade, Conte was part of that decade. So think about it clearly. Think about it. Conte is coming from Juve, is winning. If you look at the players he's been using, it's just unfair for you to say, we are gonna bring in Conte, give him Bellerin, and give him Rob Holding. It's not possible. So I don't see Conte come to Arsenal. Obviously, to do what? I mean, if I'm Conte, I don't take up the job. Absolutely. I don't. But let me know what you think about Conte and the situation. Like I said, Martin Odegaard, we could be signing up Martin Odegaard in days. Arsenal still trying to scheme for a move. And obviously, Lautaro Martinez linked again to Arsenal. I don't see any sense in that as well. Not at the moment. Bellerin wants to leave. That has also been confirmed as well. So make sure you do smash a like on the video. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel. And I'll speak to you in the next one.